What's going on? A to Z Sports Live on this Monday morning. Hope everybody's having a good start to your week. The Titans do not give us another victory Monday this week, so cannot string together 2 wins, and losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh 19-13. We had a big-time post-game show reacting to all the mistakes that were made by the Titans in that loss, and we're here to talk about it again today. And Zach, this morning, we're going to place the blame on who to blame, where to blame. We'll split up the blame, 3 places to place it after the Titans blow it and implode in the second half with 4 turnovers overall, 3 of them in the second half, then a turnover on downs when you still had a chance to win that football game. The Titans are now 9-5 and 3rd in the AFC, and the Colts right behind you, just 1 less loss or 1 less win than the Titans do right now. So we'll talk about that. We'll place the 3 places to put blame for this implosion in the Steelers game. I also went back and I watched where I think Julio Jones re-injured his hamstring. So we will look through that, and I will talk through the scenario. A lot of people think they saw it happen on a certain play, but it wasn't that certain play that people were talking about yesterday. So where Julio Jones might have gotten hurt again, and then what to do with the once star wide receiver, maybe Hall of Fame wide receiver, who is not playing that well and is out once again right now with the Titans. And then it is Monday, bad sales job to end our Monday. Where are we this morning? We're technically at Moe's Original Barbecue in Franklin, but we are here for a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. So if you want to win this holiday season, simply go to momentspeace.com/Christmas, and you will win there by getting a gift card for your loved one at momentspeace.com/Christmas. Zach, they said they were too busy this morning to have us actually in a Moment's Peace. So it's a good thing. Good for Moment's Peace. They had appointments Monday morning, bright and early. So we're here next door at Moe's Original Barbecue.
Yeah, they've been a great sponsor on these holiday time and that time of year. And man, it is a great gift. Austin and I have been endorsing them on Valentine's Day, Christmas, Mother's Day for years and years. And it's the perfect, simple gift, especially if you got a little stocking stuffer or that $100 to a Moment's Peace can light up maybe the love of your life's face. Maybe they didn't realize what was going on, but now all of a sudden they're starting to plan a spa day. So special thanks to Moment's Peace. We are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitch. We got you covered. We'll be tweeting out those YouTube links. Make sure you ring the bell if you're on YouTube. That means live notifications are on and subscriptions need to be on. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Just go to YouTube, search A to Z Sports, hit subscribe. That's the easiest way to come in here and interact. We'll ask you guys a lot of questions about yesterday's game as the Titans fall to the Steelers 19-13. But also we're broadcasting on Facebook. What's going on, Facebookers? More people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. As you guys do, please share the show. Bottom left corner of your screen, sharing out of public. Sharing is caring, as we say, and it is that caring time of year right around Christmas. So if you care about your Facebook friends, you'll share this show and get them in on the action. We got a lot to discuss. Let's get this party started on Monday morning.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by BetMGM. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media. We're Nashville's on-demand sports network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us, and they help out you guys. Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlords in the area at renterswarehouse.com. Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, 1 15-minute workout equals 5 or more hours in the weight room. Mandu.com, your first workout is free. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your car buying experience by checking them out in Lebanon or heading to wilsoncountyhyundai.com. And the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. So live for a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Real quick, once again, a momentspeace.com/Christmas, and you win holiday with your gift giving there. So where to place blame? Because I got to say, this game messed with me. We leave Mill Creek yesterday. I get home at 5 o'clock. I'm hanging out at home, just trying to relax. And I'm still just thinking, how in the hell did the Titans do that again? Because for the 3rd loss in a row, right? 3 losses in the last 4 games. All 3 losses have the same thing in common. 13 points on offense, nearly outgaining your every opponent. I can't remember if they outgained the Patriots or not, but that was pretty close with total yards there. And you turn the ball over a combined, here's this number again, 13 times in these 3 losses.
Jeez.
It's just inexplicable for how careless the Titans have been and really just lose these games, and they're wasting superb defensive efforts by their defense, where the defense is trending to be a top 12 scoring defense in the NFL. The Titans offense is hanging them out to dry yet again.
Yeah, and like I woke up this morning, the Titans should have won that game yesterday. There was like the reasons are pretty obvious on why they didn't, and they couldn't make the plays at the end of the game, right? Because they would win if the extra point is made by Bullock. They would have won 20-13. It should have never gotten into that spot. But the Titans, they can't score in the second half. Blank. 0-0, third and fourth quarter. That is frustrating when you're in that locker room at halftime knowing that we got blood in the water, we have a lead, they're not playing very well, they haven't been able to move the football. Don't give them the football in scoring opportunities. And unfortunately, that happened 3 times in the second half, and the Titans go on to lose. They have overarching problems of what this Titans team is now. I guess where I struggle, and they're going to have to beat 2 teams that are some of the hottest teams in the league. San Francisco on Thursday night that I absolutely, drummed Atlanta yesterday, if you watched a little bit of that game. And then on the other side, Tua Tagovailoa has Miami red hot. I mean, they've won consecutive games, I believe 6 in a row, and Miami on the horizon. I know you have Houston at the end, but as you mentioned before, Austin, because of this loss, it just makes Indianapolis and that whole situation a little bit scary.
Oh, it's very scary because the numbers still too, right? Like you had that game. You had the Steelers beat. The defense was shutting them down. The offense was moving the ball until they went turnover on downs. Their last 4 possessions, that's what it was. 3 turnovers, and then the short on 4th and 6 there from Nick Westbrook-Akine to end the game. And so now the number's 2. The Titans have to win. I think you cannot count on the Colts losing again. I know they have a really angry Cardinals team coming up who just lost to the Lions yesterday as well. So that might help you, that you get a pissed off Arizona Cardinals football team, 2 that can come back and bounce back. But you got to win 2 of these next 3. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing pretty good football too. It's a short week. They do fly to Nashville on a short week. So
Jimmy Garoppolo is playing really good football.
Yes.
And the one thing about Jimmy G, he's being efficient and he's being effective. He's not making those mistakes that the Titans have been making. That's why the 49ers have been winning games, and now they're inching back into the playoff race in the NFC. And so if the other team doesn't make mistakes and you make mistakes, that number's 13 in 3 games. That's pathetic. That's embarrassing. 13 turnovers in 3 losses. You don't deserve to win. But the fact is, yesterday, the Titans should have won.
Yeah, I'll take this even further, because I believe it was Kayla Anderson and Emily Proud that pointed this out on Twitter last night, is that the Titans have lost 5 games this season. They've lost 6 games in the calendar year 2021 when you include the Baltimore Ravens loss in the playoffs. 5 of those 6 losses, the Titans only scored 13 points. The one time they lost by scoring more was in overtime against the Jets. That's it. Cardinals, 13 points. Ravens lost 13 points. Then you go Texans, 13, Patriots, 13. Yesterday, the Steelers, 13 points. They get stuck on that number. There's a reason why, Zach, in the pregame show, I said the Titans would lose 17-13. They can't get past 13 because they can't score touchdowns in the red zone. They don't have anybody who can make a play outside of Tannehill to get them in the end zone, because the last 2 games, there's been 1 offensive touchdown, or I guess 2 offensive touchdowns, and they've been Ryan Tannehill to get them in the end zone, to get something on the board. And so we're going to place blame. But I go back and I watch, why did they stall out in the red zone the first time where they kicked the field goal to go up 10-0? They ran the ball down the field. They were, Foreman, Hilliard doing a great job running the ball. It was first down on like the 16-yard line, 1st and 10. They just converted on the ground. They drop back, throw it, and Hilliard drops a pass that would have gained about 5 or 6 yards. So now you're 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 5 or 4. Then now you're behind the sticks. You run for 1 yard. Then 2nd and 10 runs drive me crazy. But then you're 3rd and 9. And now you have to throw. Incomplete, kick a field goal. But it's situational play calling and the supporting cast letting the quarterback down when the ball was right in Hilliard's hands. And that leads to 3 points instead of maybe another touchdown to make it 14-0.
All right, so we're going to play a game today that I don't believe that we've played in quite some time, and I think it is perfect because of all the mistakes that were made. We call this the blame pie.
Yes.
Usually we like to do either ors, right? Pick a side, get off the fence. But I think we came to the conclusion there's more than 2 different ways that the Titans lost. And so we're going to give you 3 pieces of this blame pie. And we're going to ask you guys to comment. We're going to actually do a little bit more work today, but I think you'll appreciate it because you can distribute how you believe it should be distributed. Who is to blame for the Titans' horrific mistakes? Is it the coaches, Ryan Tannehill, or the supporting cast? Well, it's all 3. All you got to do is disperse your percentage. If you want to go 33, 33, 33, you absolutely can. But we got to get to 100. So
we're having to do math on it.
We're going to have to do a little bit of math. But distribute your blame pie. Who is the most to blame? Who is the least to blame between these 3? The coaches, including Todd Downing, including Mike Vrabel, also Ryan Tannehill. I mean, that kind of goes to the mistake of snaps between him and Ben Jones. It talks about the fumbles. It talks about awareness, the 4 sacks, all of those decision-makings for Ryan Tannehill. And lastly, the supporting cast. We're talking about offensively, Nick Westbrook, Ikena not getting to the sticks and getting that first down on 4th down.
I also rewatched his drop on that bomb where he was wide open.
Right?
Like, you got to catch that dang ball.
Getting open, making plays. So, supporting cast, Ryan Tannehill, coaches, comment in the comment section what your percentage of blame is.
A lot of comments rolling in there. Troy even brought up the front office. Maybe we'll lump that into the coaching side of things, too. A to Z Sports here live from a Moe's Original Barbecue, but we're live here for a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa because they're right next door to where we're at in Moe's. amomentspeace.com/Christmas. If you want to be a hero for the holidays, or maybe you're struggling for that last thing, right? Like you think you've got everything buttoned up and you've got all the gifts you need, but you need something to put it over the top. amomentspeace.com/Christmas. You can spend a little, or you can go lavish. You can do the whole thing, or just a gift card. And a gift card will help you win the holiday season because a $100 gift card at Moment's Peace will make the Christmas season for your loved one. They can get a facial, manicure, pedicure, full massage. They've got so many different things over next door at a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. So all you've got to do, go to the website today, amomentspeace.com/Christmas, and win this holiday season.
Yeah, and our girl Liz said at the beginning of the show, watching yesterday's game, they need a moment's peace. Yeah, because Titans fans need a little bit of moment.
Titans fans are clenched fists, and I'm sure you're tight through the shoulders and the upper back. They actually have a neck and shoulders 45-minute massage. That's perfect for what you guys might need after watching that game.
There you go. We're going to get to your comments here in a second, but don't forget BetMGM. Download the app today. Use the promo code ATOZ Sports. They got games going on today and tomorrow because of COVID protocols that got moved. So tons of football. Man, it's going to be a great football week. Troy Aikman actually said it yesterday pretty perfectly. The NFL is going to get another real test to see how football hungry the nation is. Tuesday Night Football, that's more money opportunity. That means the NFL is going to think about it. So BetMGM, you can bet on those games. Download the app today.
All right, so I'm going to try to read some of these comments because you guys are splitting up your blame pies quite a bit. Juan says coaches 45%, supporting cast at 35%, and Tannehill at 20%. I don't know if I think you might have gone over there. No, that's right. Good job. Good math. Tyler says 80s supporting cast, 15 coach, 5% Tannehill. MB says coaches are 50%, Tannehill 20%, cast at 30%. Sam says coaches 50%, QB 25, and 25 for the supporting cast.
A lot of coaches with a higher percentage.
Yeah, which I'm kind of surprised at. So Max says Tannehill 20% because he's working with practice squad guys, coaching 40, J-Rob 40. So I guess supporting cast and J-Rob go in hand there. Show Mode says Tannehill 30, coaching 30, supporting cast 30, no leadership on offense on 10. Well, I think you can take that no leadership on offense from 10 and put that on top of Tannehill if that's how Show Mode feels about it.
Yeah.
Zach, what's your blame pie?
So the majority, I actually agree with the chat. The majority of the blame goes to the coaching staff. It's like anything. They're in charge. They make the game plans. I know that they don't execute on the field, but we've been critical of Todd Downing and Mike Vrabel, and it goes to turnovers. It goes to discipline. It goes to all the things that they say that they coach. Coaching, for me, gets 60% of the blame. It's the majority of the blame. 60% because they're up 13-3 at halftime, right? Their defense has done everything that they need to do. The offense just needs to be efficient, run the football, play good defense, don't make mistakes. They don't do that. They make mistakes. They play good defense, but they can't execute, right? And so what do? They get themselves in a bind, and now all of a sudden they're playing with the lead. They're playing with the lead. All of a sudden it's tied. Now all of a sudden they're coming from behind with 4 minutes left to go, and they don't have the players, the supporting cast. So 60%, I'm going 30% with supporting cast. I think that's a massive way. I only give 10% blame to Ryan Tannehill because there's only so much he can do with the pieces that he has. I don't usually give grace. I get a little bit of grace when it comes to Ryan Tannehill. Up front, they need to block for him. But when he throws the football, he's throwing not to Julio Jones. He's injured. He's in the locker room. He's nowhere to be found. He can't hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. And you see a lot of analysts now, they showed the graphic on the screen yesterday during the game. A lot of people saw this. The difference between Ryan Tannehill with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill without Derrick Henry. Tannehill can't play at the elite level that we've seen him play before without Derrick Henry. Confirmed. We know that now.
Well, and you watched Tom Brady last night, 9-0, right? That had to hurt you as a Bucs fan. But what happens to Tom? No Lenny, no Mike Evans, no Godwin, no points.
Right? So that's why I give 10% blame to Ryan Tannehill. This supporting cast sucks. I'll just say it. They know it. We all know it. And it brings up a conversation I would like to have before we get to your percentage, Austin, because –
man, you're going to maybe hold on to my math equation.
Yeah, well, you can write it down. You got plenty of time to do that.
All right.
For the supporting cast, and I did not think that I would say this year, they needed Josh Reynolds because Josh Reynolds would have been the best wide receiver that they would have today. That didn't work out. It's all in the past. You can't do anything about what happened between Titans and what happened between Josh Reynolds. And Josh Reynolds if you watched any of the Lions game yesterday, and I did because I lost, $150 on a parlay because the Cardinals can't get a money line bet against the Lions in Detroit.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds is helping Jared Goff. He is doing something that Ryan Tannehill is not getting from Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. He's not getting it from these guys that they can't get open. They can't do it. Not Chester Rogers, practice squad guy. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, not a starter. Julio Jones, not available. They don't have the guys. They need, and it's just crazy, they need Josh Reynolds right now. But he's not available because they screwed the pooch on that relationship early on in this season.
I would like to address the Josh Reynolds situation, and then I will give you my blame pie. But real quick, Zach, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Wilson County Hyundai, quick trip down I-40 exit 236. Payne Bone and his team will hook you up. There's still time to go look at your vehicle. Maybe it's before Christmas. Maybe it's after. They've got specials. They've got deals. A2ZSports.com. That's where you can find their ads. Then you go, that directs you directly to WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Look at their inventory. They got the Palisade full-size SUV. They got the Sonata and the Elantra, which is the sedans. They've got a smaller SUV in the Santa Fe. Your perfect make and model is waiting for you right there at WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
All right, A to Z Sports live from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Don't forget BetMGM. Download the app today. Use that code ATOZ Sports for risk-free bet up to $1,000 after your first deposit. So right there, Josh Reynolds yesterday in a 30-12 win for the Lions. He had 6 catches on 6 targets, 68 yards, and a touchdown for the Lions in the win. So, Zach, you mentioned Josh Reynolds, no doubt, as
he's proving he can play.
As AJ, Julio, and Marcus Johnson have all been unavailable due to several different injuries, Josh Reynolds would be the top wide receiver for the Titans without those three guys.
By a pretty wide margin, too. That's the crazy part.
Because it's NWI, who I think is a solid number 4, but he's playing as number 1 right now. He's playing 3 spots ahead of his ability. It's not going to go very well.
Hey, you go tell your buddies, hey, a solid 4. That's what that is.
Chester Rogers is a solid slot receiver when you have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones outside of him. When you've got Chester Rogers with NWI and racing math and freaking Cody Hollister outside of you, Chester Rogers is not that impressive of a slot receiver anymore because you don't have to worry about anybody outside. But Josh Reynolds did not want to be here. And the situation is unfortunate. It's bad timing because you thought you had healthy AJ, you thought you had healthy Julio, and you thought you had healthy Marcus Johnson. And Josh Reynolds was inactive because he did not provide enough value. He was not cracking the top 3 when those 3 guys were healthy. And he doesn't play special teams, so he was inactive. And Josh Reynolds has to think about himself.
It's not all about Josh Reynolds in that disgruntled relationship, though.
But Josh Reynolds signed a 1-year deal for $1.75 million to go prove it, to go get more money after this. And he could not prove it. And
the Titans weren't allowing him to prove it.
He could not. Why? Why do you say that?
No, the Lions are allowing him to prove it.
Because the Lions don't have anybody good.
The Titans don't have anybody good.
Zach, you have to. No. You have to.
Bingo.
Zach, did you ignore the timeline that I say? At the time, Josh Reynolds was inactive because he could not crack AJ, Julio, and Marcus Johnson. Marcus Johnson cost Josh Reynolds his Titan season.
That's fine, but Julio was notorious for injuries, right? You traded for him, and he wasn't going to be the 28-year-old wide receiver that we know Julio Jones to be. He wasn't going to be that. You make that relationship work, and they didn't.
And maybe they tried, and Josh Reynolds asked for his release.
Obviously.
And so when somebody says they don't want to be here, you don't want them there.
Because Josh Reynolds, I believe, was sold a bill of goods that didn't work out in his favor, right? He signed that 1-year prove-it deal before Julio was – but the Titans, and I don't know if the Titans did this or not, they needed to go to Josh Reynolds after they traded for Julio Jones, and they needed to sit down and talk to him and say, look, this is the situation. You're going to have the ability to compete, but Julio Jones, we had to go out and get a big-time guy because we believe he was a key part in getting us to a Super Bowl. You're still part of this team. You're still part of this roster. We're going to need you down the stretch. But now they don't have him. Look, I know it's all in the past. You can't do anything. All I'm criticizing is that relationship between the Titans and Josh Reynolds that did not work out. I think the Titans are now kicking themselves to say, maybe it's like a previous relationship. What could you have done better? That there's both sides. Josh Reynolds probably could have done better, and the Titans could have done better. But now Josh Reynolds is thriving in a new team. He's thriving, and the Titans don't have anybody to throw to.
Right, but again, you can't
I can, and
Joe,
I have.
No, you can't. Hindsight is that, but it's not.
But it's now so
that's
much.
Not how,
but we talked about the blame pie. It's 30%.
Zach, that's not how reality happened, though. Reality happened that Josh Reynolds could not crack the game day roster because of his unavailability through the entire offseason. Like, you have to put all this on Josh Reynolds' shoulders.
You would take the Lions wide receiving core over the Titans wide receiving core today in a heartbeat.
I don't know who they have outside of Josh Reynolds. And
St. Brown is
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's better than anything the Titans have right now.
He's a rookie too, right? Or is that his brother? Amon-Ra St. Brown and his
I don't believe
Equinemius St. Brown. Amon-Ra is a rookie or second year. Equinemius St. Brown is up in Green Bay. But anyway, so Josh Reynolds was expendable. Josh Reynolds was not happy. Josh Reynolds is also at fault for not being happy because he could not stay healthy. And he lost his opportunity. Marcus Johnson beat his ass out. And then when Josh Reynolds got opportunity, when Julio and AJ got hurt earlier in the season, he didn't do anything with it. So what did he have to do? He went back to, why is Josh Reynolds thriving in Detroit, as you say? It's because he's back there with his boy Jared Goff. Maybe that's the only wide receiver quarterback duo that they can have success with. Maybe Josh Reynolds just needs Jared Goff to help him out.
No, you talked about St. Brown. He's having a great year with Jared Goff. TJ Hawkinson, your boy Hawkeye, before he got hurt and put on IR, he was having an okay year.
I'm not saying this about Jared Goff. I'm saying this about Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, it wasn't working here. It was not working with Josh Reynolds. That's on Josh Reynolds.
Obviously, but all I'm doing is, and a lot of the chat have brought up Khalif Raymond, who coincidentally is in Detroit and who we're talking about. They let Khalif Raymond go. And here's the problem with what the Titans did. They bet and they lost, right? In blackjack, sometimes you hit, sometimes you bust.
Chester Rogers is better than Khalif Raymond.
They busted. That's debatable. It's close, so it doesn't really matter, right?
He is better.
They busted on their tight end. They busted on that. Firkser's making mistakes, not helping your team. And we know the ceiling of Pruitt and Swaim as pass receivers, right? So they have nobody to throw to. That's why, look, I concentrate my blame pie, and I am curious for yours. 60% goes to the coaching staff because 13 turnovers in 3 losses is pathetic. That is discipline. That is not Titan football. That's not smart. That's not intelligent. And that's not physical. And that's what it's plastered all over their facility. I sat there and I gave 30% blame to these cast of characters that I've been criticizing. They have nobody. They're looking around and nobody is able to make plays when they need to make them. When you get down by 6 points, you get 4 minutes left to go. They can't go score. There's no belief that they can go score. And I think Titans fans would share that. There's no belief. When they were driving down the field, kind of surprised how effective the run was during that drive that they should have been doing the third quarter. But I felt like Titans fans watching that, they were like, man, we just don't have the horses to score a touchdown.
No.
And then my last 10% of Tannehill, because I think he looks around. I think he's playing hard. I think we found out who Ryan Tannehill is without Derrick Henry. He's probably he's below half when it comes to – he's not a top 10 quarterback. He's probably close to 20.
You can't say we figured out who Ryan Tannehill is without Derrick Henry. You have to add without Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones. You can't just say without Derrick Henry because he doesn't have anybody. And his offensive line is not doing him any favors either.
I mean,
my point is
he had Julio Jones against Jacksonville, and they didn't look. That offense did not look stellar.
Right, but they put it in cruise control, and they sat Julio for Julio load management in the second half because they knew Jacksonville couldn't do squat, and they didn't turn the ball over. Right, so my blame pie, as we've drum roll been waiting for a long time on this, right? I go 50% supporting cast. They're the ones that are messing this up. Like, don't get me wrong, I am the biggest anti-Todd Downing guy, I think, in Nashville Titans media. I don't think anybody else in Titans media is as loud as I am about Todd Downing. So, but 50% supporting cast. Todd Downing is not fumbling. Todd Downing is not dropping passes. Todd Downing's not missing blocks. The running backs are missing blocks. The O-line's missing blocks. The running backs are dropping passes. So are the wide receivers, and then everybody's fumbling. Even the Ben Jones, Ryan Tannehill exchange where Tannehill said that's never happened before, and the thousands of times those two guys have done an under center snap. But it just happened then, just all of a sudden. There you go. Why not? So, but 50% of the blame is on the supporting cast of Ryan Tannehill. I go 40% on Todd Downing and the coaching staff because the scheme sucks. And I listened to Mickey Ryan, Blaine Bishop, and Kevin Dyson on the way home from Mill Creek Brewery yesterday. Blaine nailed it, and Dice nailed it.
Blaine's been nailing some stuff.
Me and Blaine, I give so many like virtual fist bumps to Blaine with things that he says, and he likes my tweets all the time too. So, but Blaine and Dyson said they're just calling plays in the playbook. They're just calling plays. They're not scheming up how to get these guys open. They're calling the same plays that they would call. And you talked about this is get your bucket. How are you what's Julio's play? They're just calling random ass plays like you're playing a video game and not scheming open these guys who struggle to create separation themselves.
Well, so I'm not making an excuse. I would maybe combat that with a question. Your majority of your blame is on this supporting cast.
Yes, because they are making
do the supporting casts have the bucket? Right? We talked about Paul Pierce's spot. Kobe's spot.
Look,
do these guys even have a spot? They may not.
No, but you've got to at least try to scheme open a layup. Can you not set a back screen?
Can't make a layup.
And get? I mean, I watched.
They get blocked at the rim.
I mentioned this earlier.
They use the right hand on the left side.
Every time the Titans kick a field goal in the red zone, I go back and look at what happened on the 3 downs before that. And a lot of times the Titans throw on early on those downs and get themselves in a third and have to pass situation. And that doesn't go very well because they can't protect and they can't get open and they certainly can't catch the ball reliably. So Todd Downing, first down and 10 on the 16-yard line. He calls an empty set pass play and he throws it to Dontrell Hilliard over the middle, who Hilliard was open. So the play call wasn't bad. The decision to maybe put Hilliard in that position was probably not correct, but we're nitpicking because the throw was accurate, the throw was on time, the running back was open, Hilliard dropped the pass. And that would have set up 2nd and 4 on the 10. And now you just run the ball 3 times or twice before you get a first down. But the drop pass, because your supporting cast isn't good enough to play consistent football, is why you're in that situation. And Racing McMath with a weird fumble. Ferkser with a fumble. The tip pass interception was a good defensive play. Again, I don't know what happened on the botch snap. But Foreman fumbled, Hilliard fumbled against New England. You've got Dez Fitzpatrick creating interceptions by running the routes the wrong way against Houston. The supporting cast is the majority of the reason of why the turnovers are happening.
But they can win because of how good their defense is playing if they eliminate those.
Yes, and so I think, to answer your question about do they have that spot that they can go get a bucket, they just can't have a moving screen that ruins the play. They just can't dribble it off their foot or pass the ball out of bounds from a miscommunication. Like any other basketball reference you want to make, they just can't mess it up. Just catch it, go down, don't fumble it, and live to play another down. They're ruining, the supporting cast is ruining momentum. And so that's why they get 50% of the blame. 40% of the blame goes on the coaches for not scheming them up better because I feel like they're just calling plays. And then 10% is on Ryan Tannehill.
Let's talk about this comment from NHVACR_ on YouTube. And I've seen that name. He watches the show. He or she.
Yes.
Henry covered all the holes. I believe that Todd Downing, and it's unfortunate, nobody wants your best player to go out, right? It makes everything more difficult, everybody's job more difficult. But I think it really shows who a coach is when you do take out your best player and how do you survive the rest of the season. I thought against LA on prime time, their defense played so well to give them the lead. And then they were able to not screw it up, right?
Yeah, because let's go back to the Rams game, right? The Titans got up early, quick. How? 1, David Long interception, first and goal in the 3, touchdown. Tannehill, right? Then what after that? Kevin Byard, pick 6. The job's done.
They can score from the 3 or the 4.
What happened yesterday?
They can't score from the 20.
What happened yesterday? Yesterday, the only touchdown was Chester Riders at a 55-yard punt return to give you the ball on the 25-yard line. And so you had a 25-yard drive to score a touchdown. That's how you scored a touchdown. They couldn't finish the 2 field goal drives. Were long, meticulous drives down the field. And when you do that, when you have to have double-digit play drives, you're allowing these role players, these practice squad level guys who are elevated, more plays mean more opportunities to screw it up.
So here is my philosophy, and it has been for some weeks now. And I don't think it will work, and it kind of leads us into the Julio Jones thing. The Titans are betting on flipping on a switch that hasn't been turned on. You know, like you have an attic or something, right, that you haven't been to in a year. But now it's time to go get your Christmas lights, right? Mm-hmm. You go in there, and you're expecting that light to turn on, but it doesn't. And then you think, well, that makes sense. I haven't turned that switch on in a year. Something's gone wrong.
Right.
The Titans are betting on going to the attic, getting Derrick Henry back, and getting A.J. Brown back, and Julio Jones, and that's why this conversation kind of leads into that. I just don't think that switch is going to turn on. I think there's maybe a small percentage, but I don't think when Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown return, it's just going to say, all right, playoff mode. and they got to make the playoffs. They got to figure out what seed they are in the playoffs. They're probably not going to get the bye in the playoffs, so they're going to start the first weekend of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that switch to the playoff addict is going to just flicker and then shine bright. I think it's going to be like switch, off, on, off, on, off, off. Why is Derrick Henry not gaining 250 yards on the game? Well, why is A.J. Brown not running the routes the way that he used to? Well, because they haven't been doing that. That's, I think, my fear, and I think Titans fans should be fearful of that switch and that Titans playoff addict light not coming on. And who will Julio Jones even be in the picture?
And that leads us to our next conversation, because I did see where somebody commented that that the Titans have misevaluated wide receivers, which I found an interesting comment, that they misevaluated their wide receiver depth. And that made me think, how many wide receivers have the Titans played in a game this season? 11. The Titans have played 11 wide receivers in games this season.
And 10 of them aren't good.
That include Julio?
I mean, look at what he's done.
And so that made me also think, how many guys in camp did they have that haven't played? 2. Kalijah Lipscomb and Fred Brown. Those are the only 2 guys who are here in training camp that have not played an actual game. So the wide receiver depth evaluation was pretty good. They just all got hurt, because Cam Batson would be pretty nice right now. You forget about that.
Yeah, but Cam Batson, I don't think if Cam Batson's on the field on that last drive, he scored a touchdown.
No, but
so he's not.
I'm not saying.
So then it doesn't matter.
But But I'm saying your depth hurts so much because your solid depth guys have gotten hurt with Marcus Johnson and Cam Batson.
And guys, and we say, I mean, I think it's every show we get a question, and Van asks, so will Titans fans see Golden Tate? I don't think he's good enough.
If Golden Tate's been here for like 5 weeks,
I mean, what is he hurt? Is he like that? It doesn't make any sense. I think actions speak louder than words. They told us they signed Golden Tate, and then the actions are he's not on the roster. He's not active. He's practicing, and so they've evaluated him. They've had enough time to evaluate him. You know, Adrian Peterson, they just threw him in the mix. They actually figured out when he was playing, he wasn't good enough, right?
But you can throw a running back into the mix a lot easier than throwing a wide receiver.
But 4 weeks,
No, at the point, like, I understood not playing Golden Tate for the Texans game and the Patriots game to allow for the bye week to be able to reacclimate. 3 weeks was plenty of time. Now it's getting ridiculous. Now it's the fact that Golden Tate's on the practice squad, and he's probably going to stay there because they found out that he's not any good, right? So let's ask it. All right, so I've got this. I think I found the play where Julio Jones re-injured his hamstring again. But first, let me tell you guys about our sponsor, Renters Warehouse and renterswarehouse.com. They can help you out in so many different ways. Find out how much your home can rent for by going to renterswarehouse.com. They can create extra cash flow for you and your family by renting out your property instead of selling it. That's long-term equity, long-term wealth, and retirement plan ready just by doing that. And if you think being a landlord sounds like a lot of work, it's not, because you're not the landlord. They're the landlord. You own the property. Renters Warehouse does all the work for you. You just get the money. You reap the rewards and benefits of being an owner of property, of rental property, and set yourself up for the long run and create extra cash flow for you and your family. Simply head to renterswarehouse.com.
A to Z Sports, we are broadcasting live here from Moe's Barbecue in Cool Springs, but right across the street, right next door, A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Go to amomentspeace.com/Christmas. There's still time. That's kind of the best part. Christmas at the end of this week. You can go online, amomentspeace.com/Christmas, buy a gift card. Boom, there it is. That present could put you over the edge for whoever it is. If it's your mom, if it's your wife, if it maybe your sisters, the perfect gift. Or, and Austin, you've done this, couples massage.
Oh, yeah.
You double down, and actually, it works out better.
With the couples massage, I mean, I gift a couples massage to my wife a couple times a year because I get included.
Right?
It's great. We go to a Moment's Peace, I don't know, 4 times a year for a couples massage.
I always say it's like giving shampoo. You can both use it right there.
Except this is way better.
Right. Yes, on that scale. But
yes,
you both can utilize this. amomentspeace.com/Christmas.
All right, so the play that I think Julio Jones got hurt, and so a couple got hurt. That was a really weird way to say that. But Michael says he re-injured it on the fumble play by Ferkser trying to make the tackle, and then somebody else said that he re-injured it, making it. Yeah, Bobby says he started taking plays off after the Ferkser fumble. So that's not correct. Now, Anthony Ferkser fumbled. Julio Jones made the tackle.
Did
right?
what a football player
and it was
should
a
do.
good effort play. And he might have been out there limping a little bit after that tackle, but that's not what happened. He played 10 snaps the next drive because what was that long drive? How many plays was it? Like 13-something plays on that field goal drive right before half?
Oh, yeah, the field goal drive.
The field goal drive was 19 plays for 64 yards in 10 minutes and 17 seconds. Julio played 10 of those plays. And there was a couple runs early in the drive where he was out. But when I was watching, he was running explosive routes on those 10 snaps when he was running routes. He ran a couple he ran a go route. The Nick Westbrook-Akine drop on the go route, Julio ran a go route on the opposite side, and he came off the ball looking fine. There was a couple other intermediate hitch routes that he came off the ball looking explosive. His last play of the game was 2nd and goal from the 9, where he ran like a deep slant / post over the top of the safety. And I think he stumbled at the very end. And I think that's might have been because you didn't see him after that. He was out 3rd and goal at the 4. After that play, he was not in.
Well, maybe we can find out a little bit when the All-22 is released this afternoon to see, because you just get a better view, right? You're at the mercy of the broadcast.
The broadcast showed him because that's all.
At least they had Tony and Nance were at least they had the A team on.
Yes. So as he stumbled out of that route, he went out of the screen for the broadcast because they zoomed in on NWI with the catch, and Julio was out of the screen. But that's where I think it happened. And so the All-22 comes out 24 hours after the game, so it's not available to us this morning. But he played 10 snaps and looked like he was fine with his route ability after the Ferkser fumble tackle.
That I had a feeling when he came back that he wasn't going to stay.
Yuri says he heard it on the first play on the go route. No, Yuri. No, that's not like he played a lot of snaps.
So to be fair to Yuri and to everybody, we don't singularly know, right?
But when I'm
this is all assumptions, and that's all we can do. But we don't singularly know because I say this because Julio Jones had a hamstring injury. He's had a hamstring injury throughout the course of the entire season, right? Since he injured it in training camp, essentially. We actually don't know
what happened.
we don't know a damn thing because Vrabel doesn't talk about injuries. So Julio Jones has been struggling and dealing with this for some time. When it comes to a hamstring and it's not 100%, and maybe you're thinking about it, or maybe it gets tweaked, you start to alter the way that you run.
I get what you're saying, and MB says, Austin, no one knows, including you. I guess that's fair. That's fair. But what I'm saying is I watched for this, and I went back and rewatched the Ferkser fumble. I see what people are saying about the maybe limping a little bit. I don't think that was it. Now, he did extend himself to go make the tackle after the fumble, but then I watched the next 10 snaps that he played on the following drive, and he was exploding off the line of scrimmage on his routes. His routes were short. They were fast. There was no look that he was dealing with a hamstring injury. You can tell if a guy's running with a tight hamstring. He was not looking like he ran with a tight hamstring.
They needed Julio Jones in that 4th quarter. God bless.
They needed him on 3rd and goal at the 4, the play after he went out.
And they needed him on 4th and 6.
And that's why I feel like it's that play. Because it's 2nd and goal at the 9, and he's in there and he runs a route down into the end zone. They didn't throw it to him.
But they don't throw it to him. They never throw it to him.
So
they
again,
pay this guy $15 million. They never throw it to him.
But you need him on 3rd and goal at the 4. And Tannehill got sacked because nobody could get open because Julio was on the sidelines. That's why I think it happened there. Because he wasn't on the field, 3rd and goal at the 4, that just breathes, throw it to Julio. 3rd and goal at the 4? Just throw it to the back pylon. Let him go get it.
They don't know what his bucket is. I established.
Do you watch any highlights from 2011 to 2018 or 19?
They don't know what his bucket is. Todd Downing doesn't know what Julio Jones' bucket. How do you get to your spot? I don't think they know. Because all year long since they traded for him, they haven't done a lot of work together. Right? We're going to be saying this in the offseason. I don't even know what's going to happen to Julio Jones.
Man, the offseason is going to be explosive.
But the offseason, Julio Jones, I still think they won't know in April of next year. When they start drafting players, they still won't know. Hey, Todd, he probably won't even be here. Hey, Vrabel, what's Julio Jones' bucket? What is the route that if you need let's say a 4th and 6 to kind of continue a drive and possibly win a game in the AFC on the road, and your best player, because A.J. Brown is out and Derrick Henry is recovering from foot surgery, what would Julio's best route and best play be? And then my follow-up question would be, would you throw it to him? Right? Yeah. This is the issue.
I know what Vrabel's answer is. His answer is, well, yeah, we call those plays. It just the reads don't allow for that throw to be made. That's what his answer would be.
Well, you know what the Rams do, and you know what Matthew Stafford do?
Throw it anyway.
They make sure Cooper Kupp gets the football.
Yes.
The Vikings. You know who they make sure gets the football? Justin Jefferson.
You know who made sure A.J. Brown got the football? Arthur Smith. You know who's not this year? Todd Downing.
They don't do that.
Todd Downing doesn't have a feel for the game. He as a play caller, he doesn't. I don't think he knows what the run versus pass, what is the right decision for his football team in key situations, because he typically does the opposite.
All right, here's the question. And this is also going to be speculation because we don't know the severity of the re-injured, of the re-injured, of the re-injured, of the tweak of the hamstring. And you know what? If I hear Julio Jones at a press conference say, I feel good, I may kill myself.
Or what hamstring?
I feel good. That's all we've heard, but all we've seen is I don't feel very good. Right? So here's the question. What do the Titans do with Julio Jones moving forward? There's a couple of options. Not all of them are good.
Yeah, there are a couple options. Let's ask that question, get your answers. What should the Titans do with Julio Jones moving forward? But real quick, let me tell you guys about the Bone & Joint Institute. Hey, we're in Franklin, Cool Springs area right now. Bone & Joint Institute is right down the road from where we're at here at a Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa. So boneandjointtn.org, whenever an injury happens in your life, make sure you know who to go to, who to trust. They've got over a dozen doctors there at the Bone & Joint Institute who specialize in any type of joint injury you can have. They can do the surgery there, the rehab there, all the consultations, whatever it's at. They've also got clinics in Thompson Station, Brentwood, and in Nolensville for your convenience, or the main campus in Franklin, right off of I-65 and Highway 96, boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports as we broadcast live from Moe's, but right next door to A Moment's Peace. Also powered by BetMGM. If you look at Austin Shirt, BetMGM powers us every single morning. They can power you to fill your pockets, fill your wallet with maybe some cash. You got NFL games tonight, NFL games tomorrow. Download the app today, BetMGM. You use that promo code A to Z Sports. Risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's BetMGM. Download the app today.
Yeah, visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years old or must be present in Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call Tennessee Redline at 800-869-9789. All right, Zach, what should the Titans do with Julio Jones moving forward?
So David brings up, keep him active, get whatever you can out of him. No coincident offense got worse once he left the game, which is true, David. I can't deny that, right? Wilbur says wrap him in bubble wrap, save him for the playoffs, try to turn that switch on. Chris says if he goes on IR again, he's done.
Right.
So I'd sit him until the playoffs. So keep him on the offer, or keep him on the roster and kind of save him. I think there's two things to this. and we don't know, I repeat, the severity of the hamstring right now. I don't know if it's worse than it was before he went on IR earlier in the season, if it's better, if he still feels good. I don't know. It's what, and I think that matters, what you think the Titans should do and what the Titans will actually do. But it all is based on the hamstring, right?
Yeah.
And the doctor's assessment on in how many weeks? They got 4 weeks left until the playoffs. Well, I'm kind of counting the playoff week.
Yeah.
So let's say 4 weeks, give or take. Is that enough time for this hamstring to give you one game, right?
Well, it did give them one game against the Jags.
Yeah, but
that was 4 weeks.
How many snaps did he play?
He played a lot in the first half. Then the game was over, so they just didn't play him.
Right. Well, unfortunately, you don't want that to happen in the playoffs.
Then again,
on the other side.
He played a decent amount of snaps yesterday in the first half before he got hurt. And here's what I also don't know: how much did halftime play a factor in this? Maybe you tweak something on that drive before half. You go inside in the locker room, you get cold for 15 minutes, and then it tightens up. Because remember, Mike Keith, they report on Titans radio that he wasn't on the sideline to start the second half. So what happened at halftime? Did he get tight in halftime of not keeping it loose? I don't know. These are all questions that we'll never find the answer to. But what do? You can't put him on IR.
No, I mean, it looks like or appears that he re-injured it in the first half. And halftime just, I think, gave him some time to think about it. To say,
I mean, I don't know. He looked fine when he was running those routes until his last play. And that's – so G-Man says – put him on IR so we can stop letting him be a distraction.
I don't think he's a distraction.
I don't think he is either.
I just think
the fans and the media, sure, but I don't think he's a distraction internally.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you have your answer?
Yeah, I think you don't play him against the Niners.
Well, no, hell no. He's not playing.
You probably don't play him against the Dolphins.
No, you don't. Absolutely
not. And you kind of have a situational what do you have against are you in a win and in-game situation against the Texans?
Fair. Which is so ridiculous.
And it's about to happen.
They were 8-2?
8-2.
And we're talking about winning in. 8-2 plus the tiebreak over the division rival Indianapolis Colts, right? Early in the season.
Now, again, you still got 2 games over the Colts because they're a game behind you, but they have to be a full game ahead of you. So the number's still 2. The Titans win 2 of these last 3, and they're underdogs against the Niners, 2.5.
They're facing 2 good teams out of these 3.
Two teams that are playing a lot better than the Titans.
They're good teams. The 49ers, I don't know. The 49ers are sneaky where they could surge and make a playoff run because they have experience. They get a good head coach. They play good defense.
That's
right. And they've been to a Super Bowl with this kind of constructed team.
That's the problem. The problem is the Niners and the Dolphins have gotten hot, and now they're playing for something.
The Dolphins are the type of team that lose. Like the Dolphins, I don't see making that big playoff run. But the Niners, if they lose on Thursday and the Colts beat the Cardinals,
the Niners are a 6th spot in the NFC.
What happens if the Titans lose to the Niners and the Colts win to the Cardinals?
Then the Titans are still, if the Colts beat the Cardinals, then the Titans are still ahead of the Colts, but their records are the same.
So now it makes it even more on the next 2 games.
Yes. The Titans, the number is still 2. Whether it's 2 Titans wins, 1 Titans win, 1 Colts loss, or 2 Colts losses and no Titans wins, the number is 2.
This is just a collapse. So to go back
you need 2 out of 6 results to go your way. So that's still a pretty good chance that you're going to have it.
They don't have the coaching or the supporting cast, or they turn the football over. So I think you're right. You kind of changed my mind a little bit. My initial thought was you keep them on the roster, depending on the severity, right? If the hamstring is not going to heal in 4 weeks, you just put them on IR and you go try to find a guy off the street, another guy off the street. If you feel that he can come back in 4 weeks and help you in the playoffs, or if he can help you in a win or in situation in Houston, you just sit him down. I think that's what they'll do.
The good thing the Titans, here's the craziness about the Titans, because we just talked about the AFC South, right? The Titans were really close to winning that game yesterday with 4 turnovers. And I'll say it one more time. They were.
The Houston, same thing.
No, I know,
Yeah,
but that's the benefit. The Titans, the good thing the Titans have is the defense will give them an opportunity to win every game the rest of the way.
But here is the issue. That may be correct.
I mean, that is true.
No, but here's the problem.
Oh, there's plenty of problems.
They don't have the players to win those games. The NFL, look, welcome to the NFL. If you're watching this show, you've watched plenty of NFL football. You get close games every week. And in the playoffs, they usually get closer, right? You can't make the mistake. Look at the AFC Championship game in Kansas City. They get up 10-0, then they start making mistakes. They can't tackle Patrick Mahomes. They lose by 10. Like, you have close games in the NFL. Do you have the players and the discipline to win those games? Bad teams don't. Good teams do. The Titans are a bad team. The Titans are a bad team.
No.
They are. Right now, they are a bad team.
Right now, they're not a good team. I don't know if they're a bad team because the defense is too good to call them a bad team, in my opinion.
The Steelers suck.
I agree, but yet
the Houston Texans blow.
I know, and I don't think the Patriots are that.
The Jets are no good. These are the losses that they've accrued.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with
you.
So, but I don't. The defense is too good for me to call the Titans a bad team.
I'm not trying to turn this podcast into just bro podcast, but all of those adjectives or description words describing those losses, absolutely true. Bad. And with AJ, but look, I will say this: with AJ Brown and Derrick Henry back, I do not believe that they are a bad team. So, can a maybe slightly above average team get to the Super Bowl? Rarely.
Yeah, but if they have any chance to win a playoff game, they've got to have all these guys back.
But this season, Austin, when you trade for Julio Jones, and we talked about it, it's more about just winning a playoff game.
Oh, no doubt. But I mean,
that's kind of this.
But right now, like
stoop to that
level.
level.
Sure. But right now, you're in a situation where you got to save your division. Like that's what you're going to save the division.
They've been in save the division mode since they were 8-2.
But here's the weird thing. They were that close to being the 1 seed in the AFC. Still. Like that's how crazy the AFC is this year.
This is the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
Like we can't be surprised about this, right? Unfortunately, it was surprising that the Lions beat the Cardinals. But the Lions were kind of bound for an actual win, right? Like a solidifying win that they got yesterday. If you've watched them, they have not, and we talked about the Jags quitting on their coach, and their coach is no longer there. The Lions are not quitting on Dan Campbell.
No.
And you saw that. Close games happen. The Titans don't have the capacity on their roster to win those. And the 49ers and Dolphins, if I'm a Titans fan, I'd be very, very concerned that they're going to lose those 2 games.
Niners have been really good as of late. The crazy thing is the Niners are 1-4 in their division.
It's going to be, prime time.
Niners have won 5 of their last 6. Yeah. Dolphins have won how many in a row?
6 out of their last 6.
Yeah, they've won 6 in a row? No.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, they were 1-7.
They were 1-7. Now, look at the opponents that they've won those 6
against. Texans, Ravens, Jets, Panthers, Giants, Jets.
So there's something.
The Ravens win. I don't remember that game, so I can't say much about like how that game. Oh, that was it was a Monday night game.
Yes,
it was a primetime game.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was in Miami that they lost that game.
Yeah.
Because the Ravens were atop the AFC at that time.
Right, but yeah, Texans 2 against the Jets, 1 Panthers, 1 Giants. I mean, that's not like exactly murderer's row, right?
Well, prime time on Thursday night.
Any good team they've played, they've lost the Bills twice. They've lost the Raiders, the Colts, the Bucks, and they've also lost to the Jags and the Falcons. So the Dolphins have lost to bad teams too.
So they're a different team now than they were when they were.
Sure. All right, it is eSports here live on this Monday, live for A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa here at Moe's Original Barbecue, next door to A Moment's Peace. amomentspeace.com/Christmas to win your holiday gift giving. amomentspeace.com/Christmas. That's all you got to do. You ready for Bad Sales Job?
I am.
All right, Bad Sales Job to wrap up this Monday show. But real quick, let me tell you guys about Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness. 1 15-minute workout equals 5+ hours in the weight room. Mandu.com. Your first workout absolutely free. Go tell them A to Z Sports sent you, and they'll take $100 off your first month when you sign up. That's Mandu.com. Full body electronic muscle simulation. So go check it out. Again, Mandu.com.
A to Z Sports, we're powered by BetMGM. Download that app today. Plus, A Moment's Peace, you can see at the bottom of the screen. Go to momentspeace.com/Christmas. They got the hookup this Christmas for your loved one. Whether we talked about spa day, we talked about massages. They've got a salon in there for your loved one. A momentspeace.com/Christmas.
All right, time for Bad Sales Job Monday. You are up by 2 on me. 3.
Yep.
19-16-2. Dang it. It's very disappointing. I think I've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like the Titans right now. Got to get past 13
Can't
points.
make mistakes.
No, can't fumble the ball away. All right, Bad Sales Job on this Monday. So here's how we do it. We each give the other a ridiculous thing they have to sell to the audience. We get 30 seconds to do our best bad sales job, and then you guys comment who do you think won the bad sales job, did a better job. All you do is comment our name, Austin or Zach, whoever you think won it. Do you want me to give you yours first?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm locked and loaded. Zach, sell me. Not only does Todd Downing need a contract extension as Titans offensive coordinator, but he deserves a raise and promotion to be the offensive coordinator, play caller, and associate head coach for Todd Downing next year. I'm ready. The clock's ready when you are.
Repeat it one more time.
1 second. So Todd Downing this year has earned a contract extension, a raise, and a promotion to be his title of offensive coordinator, play caller, associate head coach for Todd Downing.
So this is the strategy that Mike Vrabel is going to go into this offseason, and he's going to get a lot of blowback. But what people are not thinking about, he's going with the co-offensive coordinator route. On top of this, he's going to bring in a guy, an offensive genius, Brady, who just got fired from the Carolina Panthers. That is a guy that can come in and they can work together. So when Downey's calling the plays, he's got a co-offensive coordinator to say, run the football against Pittsburgh.
You're done. That was, I don't even know what to say that. Bending the rules, probably.
That's a sale.
I don't know about that.
What? I mean, it's a sale. So,
yeah, but you also demoted Todd.
That's not the rules,
Fair,
big dog.
Fair. Well, you've bent the rules. I can bend the rules. Go ahead.
That's your opinion.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
All right. You need to sell us why this Christmas you're not giving anybody gifts. You just want to receive them. You are all receiving gifts. You're not going to give your wife a gift. We'll see how that works out. You're not going to give your parents, your loved ones, no gifts at all. And it's not because of COVID. So you cannot play that game. No gifts. All you want is to get showered with gifts. You are the one that wants to receive gifts. So you're going to have to sell us on that.
This day and age in Christmas, we've all become way too materialistic. I'm sure people in my life have already purchased their gifts, so I'll gladly accept the gifts that they've already spent their money on, but it's about quality time. Because last Christmas, in the peak of COVID, we lost a lot of quality time over the last 18 months, so don't worry about Christmas gifts. It's all about spending the time with your family and the loved ones, so don't worry about giving gifts this year. I haven't bought a single gift for anybody, because it's all about the gift of time with one another.
In.
All right. Who won, Austin or Zach? That's just all you got to do. Just comment Austin or Zach. No commentary around it, so I can count it easier. Who won? Just Zach, Austin, Austin, Zach. No comments other than that. All right, I'm just going to let the comments start to fly in until I start counting them up a little bit. All right, here we go. I think I won this.
Backs against the wall.
MB 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I sound like Mike Francesa. 12,
I got one.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, you got one. Oh, I was trying to see if I get to 20-0. Noah came in right at the end to give Zach the 1. So 20-1.
Oh, I got a couple. But
it's a whoever gets 20 first. I thought I'd get a 20-0 sweep.
Race to 20.
Oh man, that was great. Well, so
backs against the wall, you needed one.
I did need one. I went heavy with that.
So you back behind. If you get 4 behind,
you're in a tough spot. All right, great show this morning here live. 4 Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa at Moe's Original Barbecue. Appreciate the guys here at Moe's for letting us come in and crash their party early this morning as they're getting ready for lunch. It's right next door to Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa. Again, a momentspeace.com/Christmas. Go check it out today. All you got to do is a gift card. Let your loved one figure out how they want to use it, whether it's a massage, mani-pedi combo, salon, anything they have in the salon, or whatever they've got, everything. They've got great services here at a Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa, a momentspeace.com/Christmas. We'll see you tomorrow morning on a Tuesday. Buck Rising back from Pittsburgh tonight, 8 p.m. Central Time. Have a great rest of your Monday. See you later.
Adios.